Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss the second lecture of the process control. Okay. In my previous lecture already I have discussed about the why we use process control in our industry or in the process plant. Today I am going to discuss about the objective of the control system, nomenclature in the control system, and classification of variables in the control system. That's a very important topic for the process control and types of control system. How many types of control system that we can use in the process plant? If you will see, we'll be discussing later on. So before wasting our time, let's try to start the objective of the control system. These types of thing that is not going to ask in your GATE examination, but there should be a clarity in your mind the objective of the process control. If you will say, then first and foremost objective of the process control is the process safety, because safety issue is major concern in any industry. So our industry used to focus more and more about the safety. So the process control plays a very important role in our process plant process safety. Second thing is that to meet environmental constraints. Understand one thing, what is the significance of the environmental constraints? Just understand one thing, if you are working in any process industry, just like in aluminum refinery, there anode is burning continuously and anode is made up of coal, and after burning of the coal what will happen? There will be emission of carbon monoxide, there will be emission of carbon dioxide. All these things will be emitting continuously in the plant. Now what is the reason behind the environmental constraints? If you will be emitting or if your plant is emitting continuously carbon monoxide in huge amount, then the area of that the surrounding area of that plant will get polluted, highly polluted or highly enriched with carbon monoxide, and that will adversely affect the human beings or the living things that is living behind around that particular plant. So environmental constraints is very major issue. So if you will apply the process control system, then you can understand your each and every time or on the daily basis or on the hourly basis you can calculate how much carbon monoxide is going to be emitted from our any units. Just like any unit they are in, just if you will see in the smelting process, they used to emit the carbon monoxide. So each and every time you can understand how much carbon monoxide is going to be emitted every day, and from there you can reduce emission of carbon monoxide. Third point is that meeting the product quality specification. It's a very major concern. If you are producing anything in your industry, then your product specification is very important, because if your product specification, if you are unable to analyze the product, then definitely it may be you will be sometimes you may get a worse quality product or lower quality product, and that product will be of no use. So our product quality is major concern, and you can control our product quality with the help of our control system that will be studying later on. Now to increase the profitability, because if you will apply the process control, that process will be totally automatic, and in that condition what will happen? If any breakdown or any adverse condition that occurs in the process, then in that condition what will happen? You can manage the thing very you can control the problem very easily. You can reduce the manpower, you can reduce the cost of production. Okay, and from that overall term will comes to reduce the profitability. Okay, and what is the actual profitability? If you will say, our ultimate goal is to reduce our COP and increase our production. That's our main aim in industry, and you can control these things or you can increase the profitability with the help of the process control. Now understand one thing. Next topic that I am going to discuss here is the nomenclature. It's a very important thing, nomenclature in process control. Here understand. Nomenclature in control system. Now, first you have to understand the control variable. Second thing is that disturbance and load. disturbance and load. And third point is manipulated or adjustable variable. First, try to understand what is the meaning of control variable. I am just taking a process, and in that process, we'll be discussing all the things in a very concise way. Just try to focus here, right? Now, what is the control variable? The name itself justifies the control variable are the variable that we want to control. Just if you will say, if there is a CSTR exothermic reaction that is taking place in this CSTR, and for that particular condition, what will happen? What will be the control variable if this is your output and this is your input? Okay. Now, our reactor temperature that we want to maintain at a particular temperature. If you want to maintain the reactor temperature at T equals to at 300 Kelvin, then this will be our control variable that we are going to control it. Okay, so this will be the control variable. Second is disturbance or load. Disturbance or load, you can understand the disturbance and load in this way. Any process variable that can cause the control variable to deviate from its desired or set point value. Just understand one thing. This is your control variable. I think you all have understood the meaning or the significance of the control variable, because this is our control variable 300 Kelvin. This is an exothermic reaction which is taking place in our continuous substrate reactor, and the reactor temperature is our control variable. Means we want to maintain our outlet temperature at 300 Kelvin. That is our control variable. Now understand disturbance. Now, if this 300 temperature Kelvin is unable to maintain, means what are the factors that are going to affect our 300 Kelvin that is not going to attain the 300 Kelvin? Just understand one thing. This is an exothermic reaction, and this is an adiabatic reactor. Understand? I am just assuming this is an adiabatic reactor, and in that condition, if by any means this 300 Kelvin temperature is going to be deviated from this set point value, because we are going to understand, we are going to set this value that is the set point is an 300 Kelvin. Now by any means it is going to be changed from 300 to 310 or 290. The reason or the factor which is going to affect this 300 Kelvin, which is our desired value, to deviate from its desired value or set point value, that will be its disturbance or load. Understand one thing, which can be disturbance? Anything, either flow rate of the reactant. If Fi naught is the flow rate of the reactant, if exothermic reaction is taking place, now when the reaction will proceed, what will happen? Huge amount of heat will get released. If Fi naught will be very high, then huge amount of energy will get released, and temperature of 300 Kelvin will be more than as compared to the set point value. So in that condition, we have to reduce the inlet flow rate of the reactant so that the exothermic reaction will take place very slowly, and temperature increase will not be as much as will not be as much, so that it can deviate the set point value. So it can be our load or disturbance. Second thing, that which can be another disturbance here, if this won't be an adiabatic reactor, in that condition what will happen? If you are going to supply the heat, if you are going to supply the coolant, understand one thing. So coolant flow rate can also be our disturbance or load. Why? The reason behind that is, if you will change the coolant flow rate, if you will increase the coolant flow rate, then what will happen? This will absorb more and more amount of energy from the reaction that is going to be released. That's why the coolant flow rate will be affecting the desired value or set point value of our control variable. That's why it will work as the disturbance and load. Now, third point is the manipulated variable or adjustable variable. Understand one thing. Manipulated variable. What? How can you define the manipulated variable? The process variable that is adjusted to bring the control variable back to its set point. Understand one thing, what is happening here, how you can understand the manipulated variable or adjustable variable. Understand. The thing is going to, you can understand, if this 300 Kelvin is going to be changed by any means, if it becomes 310 Kelvin. Now, you want to maintain this 300 Kelvin to 310 Kelvin to 300 Kelvin. Now, what you will do? You will be changing something else. You will be changing something else, process variable, and And if Fi note is free, Fi note is fixed, you can't change Fi note. If inlet flow rate you are unable to change, then how can you maintain the Fi 300 Kelvin? So you can change the coolant flow rate. So Fc will be your manipulated variable, so that if you will increase the manipulated variable flow rate, means if you will increase the coolant flow rate, then what will happen? More and more coolant will go to the reactor, and that will absorb more amount of heat, and the temperature will get changed from 310 Kelvin to 300 Kelvin. So I think, my dear friend, you all have understood how can we define the control variable, disturbance and load, and manipulated variable. It's very important that you have to understand here. Now understand one thing. Another thing that we have to understand here is, it's a very important thing that we have to understand is set point. Classification of process variable here. Classification classification of process variable. It's also important thing, my dear student, when you are going to study about the process control. Now understand, I am just assuming this is a process because I have already discussed all these things, the elements of the process control system in my previous lecture. If you have not watched that video, just go and watch that video, then you will be able to understand the basic concept of the process control. Now here I am going to discuss classification of process variable. So there are two types of process variable that we will be studying here. First is our input variable. First will be our first is our input variable, and second is our output. First is our input variable and second is our output variable. Okay. Now first I am going to discuss about the input variable. First is our input variable. Just try to be focused here. Now, input variable will be those variable that is going to affect our system from the surroundings. Understand one thing? If someone is telling which will be the input variable for me, especially if I am the process, and which will be the input variable, so the variable that will affect from the surrounding to me, means if I am in a company of my bad surroundings or my bad colleagues, then that things that will affect my career. So that will be the input variable, means someone outside thing that is going to affect our system. So what will be the input variable? So input variable will be this one. If Fi node, if this is Fi node, if this is Fi node, if this is going to be changed, then the temperature inside the fluid in the reactor, that is also going to be changed. So this will be working as our input variable. This will be our input variable. What you need to understand, only the variable which is going to affect our system from the surrounding, that will be work as the input variable. Now understand one thing, output variable. I think input variable is very clear to all of you. That depends upon the different process. In the heat exchanger, what will be the input variable? So the input variable will be the outlet flow, sorry, inlet flow rate of our hot fluid or inlet flow rate of our cold fluid. That will be the input variable. Now in distillation column, what will be the input variable? So in distillation column, you can assume that the input variable will be the inlet flow rate or the flow rate of the fluid. Okay, that is also input variable. Second, what will be the input variable? You can understand. Second point is output variable. Output variable. How can you define the output variable? This is just opposite of the input variable. Means the variable which will affect the surrounding from the system. The variable which shows the effect of a chemical process or system on the surrounding. Means if this reaction is taking place, so what will be the output variable? This will be output variable, and which will be the output variable? Means the variable which will affect the surrounding. Means effect of the chemical process that will affect the surrounding. That will be output variable. Just understand one thing. If someone wants to ask me what is your output variable, then my output variable will be what? My result, my philanthropic character, my benevolence nature. If I am helping someone else, according to my our I2, if I am teaching someone else, you can assume that my output variable is I am teaching you. That's my output variable. Why? Because if I am a process, then I am teaching you, and you people are going to affect it. If I will be teaching well, then definitely you will be getting a great knowledge or a quality knowledge. If I will be teaching the worst, then you won't be getting a good knowledge. That's why you will be get affected. So you are my surroundings. That's why you will my teaching or my teaching skills will be the output variable. The same thing, the outlet flow rate of the coolant or the outlet temperature will be the outlet variable. Now output variable have two types. First type is measured variable, measured variable, and second part will be unmeasured variable. First is a measured variable, second is unmeasured variable. Now, if we talk about the measured variable, my dear student, then you can understand about the measured variable is the variable which can be measured directly by any measuring instrument. Understand? If you can measure the flow rate of outlet, yeah, or temperature, or pressure, or concentration, these all the things that can be measured easily by means of by the with the help of any measuring instrument, then that variable will be called as the measured variable. Okay. Now understand one thing: the unmeasured variable, the variable that is not going to be measured, or it can be measured, it can't be measured directly. To measure this variable, now you can ask a question that said, if this is the unmeasured variable, we can't measure. How is it possible? No, it can be measured, but it cannot measure directly. So you can define the unmeasured variable is the variable that cannot measure directly. It can be measured with the help of some another in the with the in the form of any another function. Just like if you want to measure some another thing, just understand one thing. If you are unable to measure the concentration, if you are unable to measure the concentration, then you can measure this concentration in the form of, or you want to measure the flow rate Q. If you want to measure the flow rate Q, you can measure this in terms of pressure, and you can correlate this flow rate with the help of P. And now, if pressure will change, then the flow rate Q will change. Now, this Q will work as the unmeasured variable. Why? Because you are unable to measure Q directly. While measuring directly Q, you are going to or you are interested in measuring the pressure, and you are having a relation, or you are having an empirical relation of pressure with respect to Q. And if you are going to change the pressure of the system, or the pressure of the process is going to be changed, according to that, the value of flow rate is also going to be changed, and from there you can calculate the value of Q. So here you are unable to measure Q directly. While measuring Q, you are totally dependent on the value of delta P or pressure drop. That's why the Q will be called as the unmeasured variable. Means sometimes you feel that there are no many there are unavailability of the measuring instrument for some variables, so that we are unable to measure directly that variables. That's why that is called as the unmeasured variable. I think this topic is very clear to all of you now. Now moving towards the next topic, I am going to discuss today about the types of control system. It's a very important topic now. Types of control system. types of control system. If you will think about types of control system, then you can get there are two types of control system. First is open loop control system, and second is closed loop. There are two types of control system that we have to study in our process dynamics and control for our grade point of view. First is open loop control system, and second is our closed loop control system. So here I am going to discuss the closed loop refers to the fact that the controller automatically acts as return the control variable to desired variable. If you will see in closed loop control system, then the control variable will be measured and that will be back to get compared at the set point. That's the major concern here. Will tell you later. It means the closed loop control system, the output variable always compared with the set point. It's a great advantage of this closed loop control system means your output variable will always get compared with your set point variable. Means how much value that you have set at the set point, whatever the output you are getting, that output will always get compared to its set point, and there the comparator will generate an error, and that will send that error to the controller, and the controller will try to act accordingly to send the signal to the measuring instrument, send the signal to the final control element to control the process or to diminish the error. So here in the closed loop system, it's a very great disadvantage, my dear student. If you will see, here I am going to discuss about the closed loop system first. Understand one thing, if you will see the block diagram, if this is our controller, this is our controller, this is our final control element FEC, that is final control element, and if this is our process, now here what will happen, here our process will give the output, that is our desired output, and our output that will get compared to its set point. That our output is going to be considered, here this is our measuring instrument, here this will be load, and here this will be my set point. This is the general notation of our control system. Okay, this is our set point. Understand one thing, how the control system works. You will learn in a very concise way if you will focus here. Alright? Now, here this will be our output, because the process will give us output, and this output, the measuring instrument, this is our measuring instrument, and this measuring instrument will measure our output and it will get compared here. This is our comparator. This is our comparator. At comparator, the comparator will compare the measured output, and if you will see here, this is Tm and this is Tr. So this comparator, after get compared the set point value and measured value, this will generate an error, and this error is equals to Tr minus Tm, means set point value minus measured value, and this is why this is called as the closed loop control system. Why? In closed loop control system, our output will get measured by the measuring instrument and it will get back to its comparator, and there the output will get compared with the set point, and after that it will generate an error, and this error is fed to the controller, and the controller will give the signal to the final control element. This is my final control element, my dear student. This is our final control element. This final control element will check the deviation and act accordingly to compensate the error in the process, and again will try to manage the set point value to its desired value. So I think you all have understood how the control closed loop system is advantageous for us. Why? Because each and every time this will get the output variable or the output will get compared to set point and accordingly the controller will act. Now, in open loop system, if you will talk about open loop system, in open loop system, measured signal or measured variable does not get compared with the set point. Means, if you will see the diagram of open loop control system, here, if you are going to break this diagram, if you are going to break this diagram, then this will becomes as an open loop control system. This will work as an open loop control system. In an open loop control system, the output variable is not going to measure at the end. Sorry, it's a comparator or at it with its set point. So I think closed loop control variable is a more advantageous someplace because each and every time we will get compared our output at its set point, and according to that the controller will act accordingly to compensate the error, I think. Okay. My dear student, now understand, sometimes get used to ask the transfer function about the closed loop control system and open loop control system, which are having the transfer function of more order as compared to less order. Means order in the sense first order, second order, third order. Understand? Now understand. Before going to discuss that thing, I am going to discuss about the closed loop control system first. We don't have to study open loop control system. It's very simple thing. Everything we are interested in calculating the process in the gate examination in the closed loop control system. Okay. So here understand closed loop control system. As I have discussed earlier, the closed loop control system is the control system in which our output variable is going to compare at its set point. Now, there are two types of closed loop control system that we have to study in our gate point of view. First is feedback control system, and the second point is feed forward control. If you will see my video, I am going to discuss each and everything in a concise way. It will be very helpful for all of you who are preparing for GATE examination, because I am going to discuss each and every basic things and will go to the GATE level. So if you continuously watching this video, then definitely it will be very fruitful for you to GATE point of view in the GATE examination as well as what or iPad, whatever the examination you are writing this year now. Understand one thing, feedback control system. It's a very important topic, my dear student. Our control system is fully based on the feedback control system. Our 90% or 60, 70, 80% syllabus is based on the feedback control system. Okay. Here we will be studying lots of the concept regarding the gate questions. Okay. Now understand feedback control system. In feedback control system, the corrective action takes place only after the effect of disturbance has been felt by the system. Means, understand one thing, how it happens. If you will see the example, just take example of yours. Someone has given the gate examination last year. If they have not got good rank, then what had happened? They have taken the corrective action this year, and this year what the mistakes they have done in the previous year at the examination, yeah, in the examination, this year they will try to mitigate or alleviate that problem and try to get a good rank. So when you have achieved the failure or when you have achieved a good bad rank, means that is the disturbance you have got there, and after that you have taken a control action about your result or about your rank, so that you are going to get a good rank this year. This is the feedback control system. Means in feedback control system, what used to happen, until and unless process is not going to get the disturbance, they are not going to control the process. That's why we are called it as a feedback control system. I think you all have understood the feedback control system now. Now in feed forward control system, The process won't wait for the disturbance. It will try to measure disturbance itself initially. Means, if understand one thing, if you are going to write the GATE examination this year, now today this is going to be September month now if you have understood my preparation in 2 to 3 subject is not going to well, now I have to focus here or analyzing the test series. You have understood, no, this is our disturbance, this is the problematic subject that I am unable to understand the good score here, so I have to work here more and more. So here what you are actually doing, you are doing or you are measuring your disturbance, which is your disturbance, and you are acting naturally on that point, on that particular subject, and you are controlling that particular subject right now to get a good score there. So our process sometimes, the process is called as, or the system is called as a feed forward control system, in which our process will measure the disturbance initially and act accordingly. That's why it is called as a feed forward control system, my dear friend. It's a very important thing now. Understand, feed forward control system. Now, if you will see, hence feed forward control system is measure the disturbance I have already discussed. In the next, when I will be teaching the feed forward control system, there I will be showing the so many differences, advantages and disadvantages of the feed forward control system and feed backward control system. First, I am going to discuss here the feedback control system now. Here, because here there are lots of the concept that GATE is going to be asked on the feedback control system. So our first important topic is our feedback control system. And already I have told you feedback and in feedback control system. In feedback control system, what you have to do, you can understand. In feedback control system, you can understand our we are going to measure means the system will measure the disturbance after means first when the system will feel the disturbance, then they will act accordingly to control the process. Now understand one thing. There are two types of feedback control system that we have to study in the GATE examination, GATE point of view. First is positive feedback control system. First is positive feedback, and second is negative feedback control system. These two types of system that we have to understand here. First is positive feedback, second is negative feedback. It's very important. Positive feedback and negative feedback. Understand? I am going to show these things with the help of the block diagram. Then you will be able to understand these things very easily. First is positive feedback control system. In positive feedback control system, what is the major concern that you have to understand? Understand, I am going to discuss these things with the help of a block diagram. Here, this is our controller. This is our final control element. This is our load point. This is our process. And here, what will happen? Now, this is our set point. Here, this will be load or disturbances. This is our output or control variable, you can say. This is our output. Now here what will happen? Here this is our output is y. Here this is our y, that is set point, and this is measuring instrument. This is our measuring instrument. This is our controller. And this is our final control element. And this is our process. By this means 60% of the topic that is going to cover here in feedback control system, and if you have understood the basic things, then definitely you will be able to solve the questions on the feedback, because it's a scoring question. If you will see, I have scored 12 out of 12 marks in 2020 gate in this particular subject. Okay, so you can control, you can understand these things in a very easy way. It's not very tough topic. Now understand something. Here, what will happen? What I have told you. This is the basic notation of a positive feedback control system. Means there will be a feedback, and what is feedback means our output is going to measure at its comparator. Now this is our set point. This is our YSP. So if this is an error, that comparator is going to be generated, and this error will be equals to Y set point plus Ym. Means if in a process in which the comparator is getting the error, that is equals to the sum addition or the summation of set point value and measured value, means the controller will reduce the error while taking the input of summation of the set point plus the measured value. That is called as a positive feedback control system. Only what you need to focus here is there will be a positive sign here, and the error will be y set point plus y measured value. This is our set point value, and this is our measured value. It's very easy thing. If you have understand only what you need to do in a positive feedback control system, what will happen? The measured variable is added to the set point only, and nothing, you don't have to do anything, only positive in feedback, positive feedback control system. Now in negative feedback control system, what will happen? Here the sign will get changed only. So here I am writing in negative feedback control system. In negative feedback control system, only thing will be that here what will happen? It will become minus. Means if controller want to control the system, or abnormality, controller want to alleviate the abnormality in the process, then what will happen? They will be getting error is equals to y set point minus y of measured value. Means our measured value will get subtracted to the set point value, and according to that the error will get generated there, and that error will enter into the controller, and the controller will give the signal to the final control element to reduce the error or to alleviate the abnormality in the process. I think you all have understood these basic things, my dear student. What is the significance of positive feedback? What is the significance of the negative feedback system? All these things. Okay. Now, so thanks to all of you in this lecture today. We'll discuss everything tomorrow now. It's so long now. I've taken 30 to 40 minutes class now. It's over. So just go and watch the video. In the next video, I will be discussing how to reduce the block diagram. That's very important topic. And if you will see the video, then definitely I hope you all will understand. And after that, we'll be discussing the final control element, controller, and control ball. It's very important topic. So thanks to all of you to see this video.